5 o'clock. I'd like to call the Planning Commission meeting to order at the Washington County Government Building. Public hearing will be the first thing, the agenda. Then we'll go into a regular meeting. There's 2 public hearings, and so we'll go into the large scale first.
Mr. Town?
Well, for the record, I'm Jim Town, and I'm here this evening to speak on behalf of the Washington Square Holding Corporation, which is a second-generation owner of the property we're going to present this evening. The property is at the corner of Highway 79 and Cape Pond Road, and you have a copy in front of you of 11 by 17s of the slides, so that you'll be able to read some of the small print as we go along. The corner, as you would know, is the only one in Washington County where there is access to Interstate 10 from 2 different directions. 79 goes to I-10 and also Cape Pond Road. And the traffic flow there as 79's 4 lanes completed will increase. Interestingly enough, the traffic flow at downtown Vernon right now is almost the same as the traffic flow just south of I-10 at 79, where the corridor project is. I think that's partly because all roads used to lead to Vernon. But nevertheless, that's where we are, just over the creek from Vernon. Next slide there. That's the current future land use map, and you'll see that it has commercial down at the bottom. In the middle is provision for residential, and across the top is agricultural, and also in the upper northwest corner of the parcel is a conservation area that's been designated, as near as I can tell, since either 1991 or 1995 on the land use maps. The owners of this property intend to develop over a period of years and keep it all in the family. This is not a speculative sort of thing to build out in 2 or 3 years. I'll walk you around the property and the timing. Don't change the slide again. And we'll start down at the point. You'll notice that there are 5 different uses defined there. Down at the point is where the convenience store with the gas pumps in front and the diesel out behind will be developed. They'll probably have 2 fast food menus there, something with burgers and something with chicken or sandwiches or something. The next parcel up goes to general commercial, and that is planned to be a nationally affiliated RV park with the large 30-foot wide, 80-foot long concrete pads with the water, sewer, electric, and internet hookup.
The next parcel up, is that the parcel that borders 79?
Correct. On the 79 side. So we'll come back in detail to these, but that's where the RV park will go. Then up to the north, we're looking at residential single family. Coming back around to the Cape Pond side, you see a small commercial parcel there. That will have a self-service storage facility, eventually with 4 buildings, fences, lights, controlled access, that sort of thing. And the funny colored parcel that's left there on Cape Pond is where the multifamily high density will go. And that's the last phase of development, way out in 2030. So to walk you around again, just to show you the timing of it, and then we'll talk more specifics. But going back to the area I just talked about with the storage, that will be the first development on the property, and it'll only be the initial building of planned 4. And the development order application, permitting, all of that will start this fall once we get the adopted plan back from Tallahassee, and we can then go ahead with a development order application. So that's the first step. Then the second step, you jump over the high-density residential down to the point. There's about 10 acres there. And in 2021 is when that development will take place. The reason for 2021 is that our experts estimate it'll take 2 years to address the wetlands mitigation on that part of the site. The good news is that the wetlands in that area are what are called low-grade wetlands. So it's a matter of trading money for dirt and mitigating that part of it so that the owner can build what they want there with the store. Back up to the campground, the RV park will follow the corner development by probably 6 months to a year. So the corner, once we're through all the wetlands issues and everything, then the RV park will come. Then the single-family residential to the north, and coming back around to the high density. And I'll give you the detailed schedule in a minute. Next slide now. Here is why the 5 uses look the way they do. When we had the property surveyed and we defined the uses that the owner wanted to put on the property, we designed the individual uses to encompass the wetlands as nearly as possible within each use, so that we weren't chasing wetlands mitigation between different parcels. So you can see the wetlands are there. The first building up on Cape Pond there where the storage will go, that's approximately 10 acres. Half is uplands and half is wetlands. And because of the way the buildings will fit together, that initial development can all be done on the 5 acres of uplands. So there will be no wetlands mitigation there at all, other than just the delineation and definition by survey. The wetlands that are up in the northwest corner are higher quality wetlands than down at the point. And the plan right now is not to mitigate those, just work around where the wetlands are and use them as an amenity for single-family housing. There's Commissioner Hagan asked me once, what's that yellow spot out in the middle of nowhere? That's uplands surrounded by wetlands. And the plan is when the single family comes along is to try to get a permit to have a walking trail from the housing area over to that uplands area, which will be in effect a nature preserve for the residential. There's because of the quality of the wetlands and the density up there, it's probably not worth the cost of trying to mitigate wetlands to put a road over to it. So it'll just become an amenity of the community. There's the schedule, and you should have a slide with that spelled out. As I said early on, this is a long-term, second-generation development on this property. These people have been here a long time, they intend to be here a long time, and they're not concerned other than quality. Every step of the way they've emphasized to us that they want quality development because they intend to own it all the way. Is that my mic?
Raise it up a little bit. Just raise it up a little bit.
Okay.
Oh, it's not working.
Somebody.
It's
No.
moving.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, I was just checking for tomatoes coming out here from behind.
Everybody's away.
Yeah. Okay. As we've discussed on other developments, because we're doing 5 development orders and 5 sets of permitting, anything dealing with the wetlands, of course, are federal and state jurisdiction on wetlands, and that's part of why we're allowing 2 years to get through that process. Just the permits for that process are $28,000 before you even talk about buying the mitigation land, swap out. So the development on the point will be our most permit-intensive part of the whole project. And we're going with demand, not speculation. Now, this is an interesting thing. This development will allow for the sewer and water to come over the creek. The city, when they upgraded their sewer and water plant and expanded their spray field some years ago, figured that there would be increase in users, and someday it would go over the creek. So the city's in good shape, capacity-wise, for plant processing and spray fields. And in meeting with the city, we've had 3 meetings with them now, including one with their engineers to get some estimates on what it'll take to jump over the river. The hangers for the pipes are all on the bridges that were built, so they were thinking ahead at that point. But the site will be annexed into the city of Vernon. Vernon does not have the money to go out and extend the lines north. So this would be sort of a combination of public-private development. The initial estimate by their engineer is $500,000 to get up to the corner of the owner's property. I probably would guess 650 if the engineer thinks 500. But nevertheless, there are ways that the developer can fund bringing the sewer and water over the creek and not obligating Vernon at all for the finances. And the developer will take his money back as other users hook onto the lines further north. So it may take a while, but there are some other developments north of there that if they come to fruition, could add several hundred customers fairly quickly north of this site. So the developer needs the sewer and water in order to be able to do the residential and commercial development, and it's just part of his cost of developing, but he'll recover it back long term. And the city of Vernon will end up with sewer and water and new customers. This is just a little summary to show the impact. If it were done today, would increase the Board of County Commissioners ad valorem taxes by about $700,000 a year. There's 481 residential units in the package. The school board, their portion of the ad valorem tax would add about $535,000. It'll generate, based on the Washington County ratio of households to students, about 160 new students in the school system. And I don't know off the top of my head what a student is worth to the school system now, but 160 more of them would be some significant money, I think.
7,000.
7,000 apiece. Okay. So that's the school board portion. The city of Vernon ends up with expanded sewer and water customers, and hit the button one time, there's more at the bottom there. Okay. This is a recap. So we're talking about 1.4 million now, without talking about revenue sharing, without talking about the gas tax that will come off the site. If that site sells a lot of fuel, and it just might, we could be talking $100,000 a month in fuel tax coming back into the county. So since the county maintains the roads in Vernon, it's good news for Vernon too, because I'm sure they would be right up here to negotiate some road work if the county's road revenues go up from the fuel tax. So we're not trying to say that that's real money as we sit here today, because all the things have to happen to make it there. But if they did, it's probably close to a $2 million impact for the 3 government entities. We always talk in development about the economic impact. This is a good news, bad news slide. If you work down through, the 433 households are worth, using their median income for Washington County, about $21 million a year out of those households. The economic impact multiplier is 1.5. I like to use a low multiplier, not the high. So the total impact is 32 million. However, 68% of our 10,000 workforce leave the county every day. And some other studies that we've looked at show that 62% of household discretionary income is spent outside of Washington County. Partly because people tend to spend money where they work. They're going to work or coming back from work. And we don't have a lot of things in Washington County. You can't buy a car here. There's a number of things you can't do. So the total impact in the immediate area down there is only about 20 million because of the fact that the money is going outside the county. And nothing we can do about that until we get some more population and we have more goods and services here. Population impacts about 1,000 people. With all the roads being widened, all the other improvements being made, 1,000 people should not cause any significant trip generation down there. Next one. Okay. I've been talking kind of fast because there's other people waiting to speak to you, but I'd be glad to take any questions. Okay?
Yeah. Not so long ago, we had lost a big project with the Vernon project. Okay? Do you see anything in this that the planning commission can or cannot do to make sure that we don't fall between the cracks on this project?
Well, this project has the same weakness that Rhythm had. The Rhythm project failed because of the finances of the developer. The actual development order that was approved was a world-class development order. It's like you'd find in Orlando or Miami. So the planning commission, the county commission did their job on the Rhythm project, but the developer lost $50 million on condominiums in Miami, and that was just about the time that he needed to put another $3 million into the Rhythm project to begin the deep wells, and he said, I quit. So I don't know how to insure against that sort of risk. Now, on the other side of this one, these people that own it are second generation Washington County. They intend to own it as it's developed. They may lease, as an example, the RV park to a national operator, but they will always own the dirt down there. That's their plan. So I think there's something built in there that we didn't have with Rhythm.
Right. On your color chart, there was an area that was gray in that area that's owned by private people.
Yes,
That's correct.
yes.
Okay.
And as time goes forward, you know, they might want to sell as they get surrounded by development. Who knows?
Okay, thank you.
It's another owner. Other questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Commissioner?
It looks much like the presentation made in Vernon, which I thought was a very good presentation. I don't know if the code will allow us to do this, but in a larger area, in the hundreds of acres of Rhythm or a Deltona or some other that was primarily residential or mixed, there's provisions that's made for some extra fire protection and some things like this. You're adding 259 homes.
Right, and 222 high density.
Yeah. Is there any consideration being given that there's going to be some of these are going to, I'm guessing the apartments and condos may be multi-level, multi-story?
Three-story.
Is there any consideration given for additional fire considerations to the county or to the city of Vernon's fire department for the impact this will have that might exceed the capabilities that have now?
We have in the financial projections the county's current impact fees under the concept that growth pays for growth, and it comes out about $1,200 a unit. Now, by the time we start building single family there, I would think that the county will have updated their impact fees. Costs have gone up, so impact fees will go up. In terms of how things are funded for ongoing work, there's certainly room for negotiation with the developer. In Rhythm, as an example, the developer committed to do certain things to enhance the fire station. Not donate, but enhance. So that's all negotiation down the road. It's to the benefit of the developer and the homeowners eventually to have the best ISO rating they can get. So I'd say the developer would be interested in enhancing fire service.
And you may be including that in your water sewer coming across the bridge, but I'm thinking that with these, you're going to be looking at additional pressure and additional, perhaps specialty kind of fire plugs and or even equipment later, matter of multi-story fighting capabilities and things like that. And that may be the thing that concerns me, and I may not be current on it. I saw something recently where there's some activity with the commission board, with the plant commissioners. But if we suspend or continue to suspend impact fees, we won't collect those impact fees we're talking about.
That's right. Last year, they didn't collect about $136,000 in impact fees.
Yeah. So you can't say you're going to get it from here if here ain't working.
That's correct. And that's a problem we've been working on strategically, because impact fees are insignificant in terms of the effect they have on new development. I mean, it adds like $2 a month to a mortgage payment to have an impact fee. But it's a political question in more places than just Washington County. But it's a proven fact that reducing impact fees does not stimulate growth. And in commercial, it's meaningless because it's just an item on the cost checklist. How much are we going to pay?
I also see, Mr. Chairman, where the staff recommendation is going to be approval, and again, it looks like it is
Well, I have
probably a good project. But when we look at the numbers that Jim, and we had this conversation between Jim and I, when we look at the numbers, the money that's going to be added, that's today's dollars. Those numbers of dollars certainly will be greater as we build up the place and the taxes or assessments and things like that. But we're looking at dollars, and we're looking at peoples who won't be on the census if this is not built out until the 2030s. They won't be on the census until 2040. We're looking at 20 to 23 years that these numbers are saying that. Another recession, another depression, or something like that. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know, but we can't say that this is going to do all these things for us. We need to look at it with open eyes and make sure that we realize that all these things that Jim tells us today, if they don't come to pass, these are just projections. These are just it could be this way if it. Mr. Perry Wells said one time that his philosophy on predestination was whatever will be if it never is or not. So we don't know exactly if this ever will be or not.
Right. In our longer term planning, we've talked with the owners actually about economic cycles, and that's part of the reason that they're saying this is long term. If we come out of the RV park and it's 2008 all over again,
Yeah.
then the next phase just won't start until the good times come again. Because they're under no obligation financially to build this out and sell anything.
And the tax assessment, the property assessment will be whatever that property is at that point in time. If it's sitting there empty, it will be assessed at that, and the part that is being developed will be assessed at that. So
That's correct.
So the numbers are in an ideal future happiness.
Right. I would consider them totally speculative, but the reason I like to use them in talking with government groups is that commissioners quite often don't realize impact of decisions. As an example, when the Planning Commission decided to set back our hearing an extra month, and then the newspaper messed up the ad, it costs over $700 a month. Go out and change 8 signs on the property, rerun the ads, and mail 39 registered letters. So I always like to make you aware, and the county commission aware, that these decisions are not made in a vacuum. There's dollars and cents tied to them.
Back a few years ago, I remember in Vernon, going past the schools, going towards the prison, up on the left-hand side up there, there was a hill, there was a developer out of Birmingham, came in there, was gonna do the same thing, was gonna build houses, grocery stores, all up on that hill up there. Well, it's nothing but weeds now. And the reason he didn't go ahead with that, he didn't get a grant to bring the sewer from Vernon across that, all out, down past that school and things.
Right.
He didn't get the grant, so he didn't get enough, he quit.
Yep. This is not, if some grant money becomes available, of course, the developer would use it, but since it's a private developer, he's not looking for grants.
No, he's looking for Vernon to pay for half that water going to him.
No. No.
He's gonna take the money, did you say he was gonna take the money back later, he was gonna pay for it, and then he was gonna recoup some of his money from Vernon?
Yeah, off the impact fees of future users, and probably 8% off the revenue generated. So he's thinking of financing it for 50 years in order to get the sewer and water when he needs it for the point development. No, we clearly understood with Vernon that it's non-recourse financing. They don't
Well,
want
I'm
to
just
have
thinking,
it out.
if he's gonna pay for it to put it across there, that's great.
Yeah.
As long as Vernon don't have to fork the money up and sit there and eat it.
And there's some interesting things out there, and I don't want to get into the corridor of 79, but that's the only special district in the state of Florida that does not assess the landowners within the special district. There are ways to finance things without just paying cash.
This is people that own this, you keep saying that people are there are here in our community. Is this the Moore family, AC Moore's kids?
Kids.
Not AC Moore?
No,
He's not in?
he's got dementia, and I understand he doesn't know what day it is.
He still have money.
I think the kids have control of it.
Maybe you don't have no more.
But I had dealings with Arvin years ago, and the kids are nothing like him.
The dates that you project, I'm assuming those dates could be pushed back. Is there a possibility they could be pushed up?
Yes, that slide near the end that said that it would not be speculative, it'll be demand driven. So if demand is there, then it would be pushed up.
I mean, what's holding the first part of it up is wetland permits and things of that sort.
That's right. It's going to take 2 years to get from the storage building down to the convenience store. And there's no sense calling it anything else because you got federal government permitting involved.
Let me ask one other question. When you first came here and we changed an ordinance or something for you, Trey indicated that the sewer was already run across the creek, as I understood it. You said there are only hangers there. There's no sewer there.
Yeah.
Which one of you is right?
The sewer ends before the creek on the south side.
So it's not already run across the creek, as I understood it?
No,
Okay.
but the hangars are on the bridge.
So the people that built the bridge put the hangers on.
Yes.
Yes, the city department paid the grant money to have, when we redone our last USDA project, we paid to put sewer and water hangers on it, that's what I quoted.
I misunderstood you. I thought you said the sewer and water was already run across the
No,
creek.
they've already been put in place, so it's a simple process of attaching pipe to the other side of the bridge and going forward. The lift stations on the south side of the bridge, able to tie into it and move north. That's our full intention, when I was in the city council, Vernon, for growth to come there. This project would expedite Vernon's growth more so than anything else. As Jim stated a while ago, all roads lead to Vernon. He's exactly right. That interchange could be one of the largest interchanges in Washington County. I see Pay Pond Road and 79. Because it's the shortest. If you're coming from east to west, from west to east, you're going to take Pay Pond Road to get to the beach. You're going to cut off Bonifay. And that interchange, that was our full intentions to put the water sewer for development such as this.
I just misunderstood what you said.
Could Could you take your diagram thing here, and this is like storage area 217, 218. Could you tell us which parcel that is? You know what I mean? Parcel 1?
Where's your little corner
It would be
thing?
projected parcel number 4.
Yeah. There's 2 existing parcels under the land use map, but there's 5 new parcels made out of those original 2.
So
So I'm not sure I understand the question.
he's asking which parcel, which area of the storage is going to be on, or where.
Go to the next
Oh,
one.
go to this page right here where you have your time frame.
Right.
And put out parcel 1, parcel 5, parcel.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, back up to the time sheet. Now just go up top. Okay, there we go. 2017, 2018, that's the storage area.
So is that parcel 1?
4.
Parcel 4.
Yeah, the parcel numbers are related to how they were carved up, not the timing of the project. Okay, the wetlands mitigation, that's the 10 acres on the point.
So
And that's actually part of 2 of the old parcels.
So by your map, would it be parcel 4?
I don't have that.
Parcel 1, I believe. Yeah, it's parcel 1.
Yeah, look at this map here.
Yes.
Yeah, that has the parcels defined there. So that is called parcel 4 where the storage building will go.
Okay.
And on the point is parcel 1.
Okay.
Then coming around the corner to the RV, that's parcel 3.
Parcel 3, okay.
Yeah. And going further around to the north, you get to parcel 5, where all the wetlands and the single family are. Then, coming back south, you go past parcel 4 with the storage, and you get parcel 2 where the high density is. But that's the last parcel to be developed.
What is the RV part? That's part, is that going to be a 3?
That's,
Yes.
parcel 3 is from north of the point going up along 79, where the lake is.
Gotcha. All right, great.
But that, if you look at that map, and you got your glasses focused right, you can tell how much is wetlands and how much is upland and so forth. The site is darn near half wetlands. So creating these 5 uses and staying out of the wetlands is a bit of a challenge.
Are you going to do a wetland delineation by development by parcel, or are you going to do development of the wetlands all at one time?
We're going to do the delineations with each development order. So parcel 4, which is the storage buildings, they will be surveyed, the wetlands will be defined by, or delineated by survey, and the planning department will receive a copy of that because the wetlands on the county maps are not in the right place. But by the time we've done the delineation of all 5 parcels, they'll be in the right place.
And certainly that's the developer's choice, but it looks to me like that's going to be stands a chance to be much more expensive if you do it. And besides that, wetland definitions, we never know what the DEPDR is going to do. If you develop them today and get them delineated now, you've got that done. It's like if you do the whole 200 acres, whatever we're talking about there.
But
Total parcel.
in the world of development, when you go for permits, the wetlands have to be delineated by survey. And if it's 10 years later, when you finally get around to getting permits, you'd have to do the delineations all over again.
So this is probably more economical.
Yeah, we think it's more economical to do them as we go because of the time span. Now, if this was a planned community and the developer was going to build it out as fast as he could, starting this fall, then we would do them all at one time.
That's surprising me that it would be less expensive, not more expensive. Just the cost of the survey, just the cost of the labor and engineering and that.
But when you do the permitting step, which comes after the development order, the DEP and the Corps of Engineers go out there and look for the little flags. So if there's 10 years from when the surveyor put the flags out and when the environmental people show up, they're gonna say, put the flags up again. We think it would be cheaper to do it one step at a time. But if we were gonna just start now and build, we'd do it all at once. Okay.
All right, have any other questions?
Yes, maybe for Randy, what will be the, if we do this, that we go to commissioners in 2 weeks, how quickly will everything be done? You're looking at 2017 and 18. Is he going to be able to start anything in 17? We're already past half the year.
Well, the state is required to review large-scale amendments, and they have a 30-day process to hear any objections or anything like that from the state, so we have a 30-day waiting period. It was scheduled for August, but it's been pushed back to September, I believe. And so once we hear back from the state that they have no comments, then from there is when the ordinance gets signed off on and recorded and advertised, obviously. And then once that's done, the land use changes are done, then they'll be able to begin with the development review.
You're looking at November, December, November at probably the earliest.
They'll probably start on the construction drawings and the initial wetlands delineation on that parcel in October. And then it'll go forward from there. Because once it's back from Tallahassee, it should just be administrative from there on, having an adoption hearing with the county board and then recording it. Well, it takes a few days sometimes to get it
It does.
recorded.
It's not just the Department of Economic Opportunity that gets this. It's Florida Fish and Wild, it's the Department of State, it's Department of Education because of the school element, because of the additional impact that it could possibly have on Vernon Elementary, Middle, and High School. So all these state entities, there's more than that. There's like 14 or 15 that actually get this, and they have to have 30 days to review it. And so it's not just one state office. It's multiple ones that have to review this. DEP also reviews it as well.
And we will undoubtedly hear from the
DEP.
bear control gentleman about the controlled trash access. Even though it's 10 years before we can build a house.
Well, I was just going to say, this development in progress, you look at the chamber economic development in 79 and 77, it starts a growth period. It's something we're actually doing something conservative for economic development.
This is the first large-scale amendment since 2013, and the one in 2013 took from 2008 to 2013 to get the development order approved. So one doesn't make a trend, but it's a start.
It's a start.
All right, any other questions?
Is there anything that we're doing that's holding you up, or is there anything that we can do to speed you up? The process.
Yeah. The answer to the first question, you've addressed with the resolution you sent to the county board, and they approved. Matter of fact, I think Randy put a copy of it in the package.
I did.
So that eliminates any future discussion about delineation and permitting and conservation. It happens in a sequence. And it's been this sequence for 100 years. And we just got off on a wild tangent there last November and December, and that's fixed as far as I'm concerned. Anything to speed us up, if you come up with a way to get some people to move into Washington County, that would help.
Well, I meant the governmental process, the state process.
Actually, the state's running pretty good right now. Their 30-day turnarounds and all that is working pretty good. And we've got the same caseworker over at DEO, Dan Evans, who's covered the county for a long time, so he knows us and what we're doing.
Do you feel like that no comment is going to be a pretty likely answer from the state?
I think in my opinion, I believe the only comment, if we're gonna have any, is will probably be from DEP, and it would be referencing the wetlands. But maybe something from the school, but I highly doubt if the Department of Education would have any comment. I'm assuming the elementary schools would be able to take on the initial impact if, you know, this was come to fruition.
We have the capacity,
So,
because I look at capacity in all three of the schools, the elementary, middle, and high school, and we have the capacity as it stands right now. In 10 years, we always would have to look at things again and talk about your permit fees and all those. But at this time, indeed, Department of Education would just keep it back to the school board if you're required to go there. We have the capacity, so that's right.
And at some point, when we get closer into the residential, we'll get a letter and they'll quote any impact fees that they wish to collect.
All right, anything else, everybody? Okay, Chief Engineer back here, go ahead.
That's a good name, that's what I'm referred to as meeting chief.
Captain Moore?
Hey, it looked like a sheep.
I'm glad you could show up.
Yes, sir. Good evening. I was just going to say a couple things. The change that you guys made with regard to the wetland delineation and land use changes, you're now in line with most of the other surrounding communities in our area. I deal with land use changes a lot, and you're one of the few I've ever seen that required a formal delineation prior to a land use change. The land use change process is kind of from 10 miles up, and really not until you get to the land development order process do you really need to have the specific information. On this site, if you look at the future or the Florida natural area inventories maps, this interchange is really the only area that you have north of the bridge that has development potential of any significance. Everything else outside of this is just loaded with wetlands. And so the uplands that are on this site this is really the only place that you could do a development of this scale. And so I reviewed all the information that they provided, and from my perspective, it appears to be pretty well planned. And I think DEP is going to give them a pretty favorable review as well because of the wetland situation north of the bridge, anywhere you want to try to be in Vernon. So everything around it is all wet. So it appeared to be a pretty well-planned project to make.
All right, very good.
Have you looked at it, and I may have, maybe forgetting it, was traffic impact, was there traffic sleeping in there, or going to have not in 20 years we are?
Well, with the 4-lane coming through, the traffic.
Yeah, 79 is, but that's not ours.
I know.
At some point, we'll have to do some traffic generation studies, but not at this point.
So, proportionate fair share is something that the county in the past has looked at for significant projects of this size. And depending on what their final traffic analysis shows, there could be some implications there, but it's kind of far down the road to say right now. Certainly there'll be intersection improvements that'll be warranted. Turn lanes, all those kind of things will be warranted as part of the project, and signal warrant will be required as part of their analysis also.
Access road perhaps?
Yeah.
Because I don't see move in one at a time. It says it's on demand, I want to move in one at a time. That's why you got 300 in there. The county's got to pay for a new road.
The traffic analysis has to be done for the project as a whole, not piece by piece.
Okay.
So if you did a traffic analysis just, for example, for one small piece of this, it would be significantly different than the traffic analysis for the overall build-out. And so they really, when they do the traffic analysis, they can't just take one piece of it. They really need to have a bigger plan that addresses all of it when they come before us with an analysis.
Right, but the biggest impact in the front end will be once the mitigation on the point is settled, then we're going to be getting into turn lanes and decel lanes and all of that because of the commercial activity with the convenience store and the fuel.
Right. That's all I got unless you got any questions for me.
Any questions? All
Thank you.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any
Mr.
other
Chairman,
questions?
I need to be excused, even
You're
before you
excused?
take attendance, but anyway, we have graduations and technology tonight.
Thank you for showing up, appreciate it. We thought it was gonna be short-handed. So
Somebody clock you
she
out.
brought out the list of brands.
Make sure it's time clock is exactly that.
All right, very good.
Small scale. This is just public.
Just public hearing later. All right, doing now the other, the small scale future land use map, Colbert Seifert, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Mr. Seifert, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm seeking to have my land changed from agriculture to commercial. It's a 4.35 acre parcel just south of Walsall. Subject property is just south of the pipeline. I think Mr. Hagan there is probably familiar with the property.
Is it the old vegetable?
Yes.
If it's a green piece of paper, that's very, it don't have a landmark on it, but
As you can see, just southeast of the property that I'm seeking to change, there's commercial property there also. Yeah, I'm new at this. So y'all be patient. Okay, and she's got the amended map up there. The reason why I'm seeking this is I'm going to try to start a small business. Fix up cars, sell them. I've been around mechanics all my life, still do it part-time on the side. But to sell vehicles in the state of Florida, if you seek to sell more than 3 a year, you have to have a you have to have a used dealer's license. Florida statute, say license required for motor vehicle dealers in the state of Florida. Motor vehicle dealers are licensed and regulated by the Division of Motors Services under Section 320.27 Florida statute. The law states that Florida law states that any person, firm, partnership, or corporation that buys, sells, offers for sale, displays for sale, or deals in 3 or more motor vehicles in a 12-month period is presumed to be a motor vehicle dealer and must have the appropriate license issued by the state. That's why I'm seeking it, because I plan on selling more than 3, because 3 is not very many in a year. So to do this the right way, I'm seeking the license, but to get the license, I have to have the land designated as commercial to meet the license requirement. We held a meeting here on Monday, July the 10th, at 10 a.m. No comments from the public was made. The Planning Commission to hold meetings on Tuesday, July the 11th, which is tonight, and hopefully I'll get a recommendation to go forward with this. And I also have a Board of County Commissioners meeting to be held on Thursday, 27th, 2017 at 9 a.m. The conditions of any development shall be reviewed and approved by the Washington County Planning Commission. At this time, I'm not seeking to put any buildings on the property. I'm just seeking to get the change where I can get the license to start the small business.
Is there buildings on the property?
There's nothing but a pump house.
That's big enough.
Now there's a slab on the property. It's I forget what the dimensions are on it, but it's slab was there previously, and it had a pole barn on it at one time, but the pole barn was taken down, so the slab never could take it off the way, so the slab's still there.
This is where the semi truck's at for sale right now.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, in your packet, there is a, from the DMV, that a dealer site pre-inspection checklist. This is just one of the requirements that they require in order for him to even apply for the license. So he has to have a land use change in order to acquire this license. It'll be just after his deed is the list that the DMV requires.
All right. Anyone have any questions?
If it's just looking for land use change, we don't have to address anything like cabinet containment or things like that. That would be.
That would be
sometime
done in the
order
development.
Or, you know.
You have a question?
Dimensions on this post? I think it's all I have is.
That I don't know, I don't know.
The size of it?
Yeah.
It's 4.38, 35 acres.
What's the highway?
I didn't measure the highway
I don't
front, but
know.
it's over 100 feet.
Over 100 by how much?
I'm not sure. I didn't do
So it looks pretty narrow, it's pretty deep. Utilization. Mr. Hayes, you're familiar with the parcel itself? Is it suitable?
I think the parcel would be suitable and it's already mostly cleared. Right across from it was a shop for a while and a small car lot to the south of it and across the street and I think it would be compatible with what's there.
So it's usable land.
It is usable land, probably 5 acres or so, and it may say in here, how big is it? 4.3, yeah. If any of you remember Mr. J.G. Wilson Hamlin was the first bricklaying instructor at a vocational school, it was one of his old home places.
All right, any other questions? All right. Any from the audience? Any questions? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
At this time, we'll close the public hearing. Now we'll start the regular meeting. Call the meeting to order, planning commission meeting, pledge of allegiance. All right, Roger.
Salute, pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks everyone for coming out. This time we'll have the roll call.
Okay, Roger Hagan,
here.
James Ursery,
Here.
Al Callen, Jim Ackerman, David Morris. Joe Taylor was present, but he had to excuse himself around 5:37. John Gay.
Here.
Currently, the county planner position is vacant. Mr. Massey does excuse himself, but he does send his apologies. He did have plans to be here, but he had to go home. Cliff Nauer is here, and planning secretary is present.
All right, welcome. This time we have the approval of the agenda for July the 11th, 2017.
Motion approved.
Have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? There's a second. All in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. Now we have the approval of the minutes for April the 4th, 2017. Have a motion to approve.
Second the motion.
Here a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Board of County Commissioners report and permit report.
Okay, at the last Board of County Commissioners, well, the last meeting that we had was with the development reviews for Chipola Timber and for Grace and Glory. Those did not have to actually go before the Board of County Commissioners. However, there were certain conditions that were required by Mr. Nauer to be met. All of those conditions have been met on each of those projects. So final development orders have been issued, it's stated on the staff report or the status permit update report, and that's all I have to report.
All right, thank you very much. New business. This time, a large-scale future land use map amendment by Jim Town, President and Broker, Business evaluation and appraisal.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept it based on the planning commission approval of it, based on the conditions, the 5 conditions that are listed.
All right, very good. Here a second? Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All unanimous. This time we'll have the variance request by Irwin Keaton.
Aaron Keeter.
Aaron Keeter? I'm sorry. Minimum lot size requirement. So explain what you want to do.
I'm sorry, sir.
Would you like to explain what you would like to do?
I would like to have a variance just to include this 1 acre with the 1.35 that my father had deeded to me, just to create one parcel of property. And I need a variance for the minimum size of this parcel.
You want to explain it to us?
Yes. All right, for that blue tract of land that's outlined, his daddy deeded him that amount of property, is actually 1.3. So, his cousin, sold him the 1 acre that's outlined in green. And in order to combine the 2 lots together, it was a minimum lot size requirement variance that he needed to apply for. He plans on joining the blue and the green tracts together. And the remainder of the property that's left over in parcel B belongs to his cousin, and he does own the adjoining property to the left of it as well, and he plans on joining his 2 properties together. So he's requesting a variance on the minimum lot size requirement and the plating requirements. And we have received the green cards back, so there were 2 conditions. One of the conditions that the green cards be submitted, they are all right here. And so the only condition that I have is that the new deeds be drawn up and the correct deeds be submitted to planning on recording. But that's all I have.
Didn't we divide some land on Vernon Dairy Road here a while back?
I don't remember any. I think the last minimum lot size
This is
we
not
had.
it.
No. The last one that we had was Miss Nancy Sweat off of Candy Kitchen. And she wanted to do the same thing, sell that little acre. She had a minimum lot size requirement as well.
Okay, so the blue and the green is going to be combined as one.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
The red portion is going to be combined with what?
With the adjoining property to the left of it,
Okay. All
to the
right.
west.
The beginning of that yellow border there.
Okay.
That red parcel and the parcel to the left has no bearing on his request, does it?
Yes.
Is Mr. Keeter the right person to be asking for the variance? It's not subdivided.
It's Mr. Hockey's property, however, he did give a letter of authorization for Mr. Keeter to act on his behalf, and that's in your staff report.
Yes.
So he does have authorization to request this.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? As a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The only provision now is the deed to be recorded.
Correct. Correct.
This time we'll have a small-scale future land use map amendment, Toby, Tolbert, Seifert.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Is that with the conditions?
With, yes.
I have a motion, I have a second. All in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, the old business county planner position.
I just wanted to give you guys an update that they have re-advertised for the position for the planner for the county. It is scheduled to close on the 24th of July. I just want you guys to be aware of what's going on. And that's all I have for that. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Have you applied for the position?
I have twice.
Any of you guys want the job?
No, but I'd like to see Brandy get it.
Yeah. I think she.
Has anybody else applied for the job?
I believe that they have, but I don't know who they are.
And who makes that final decision?
believe it would be between human resources, I'm sure the county administrator, county commission, and as well as, I believe, Mr. Whipple will probably be a part of that as well.
I don't know if this is appropriate to do anything on the idea or not. I think this board ought to seriously consider making a motion, passing it, and asking the county to seriously consider Brandy for the position as opposed to going outside the county position.
I think she's already applied for it, and
It's in the stack. That's all I know. It's in the stack.
It's what?
It's in the stack of applications.
to be reconsidered.
I don't think it would hurt, if we were in agreement, I don't know that it would hurt for us to give a vote of support to her.
Or you go to read letter to come somewhere.
My concern is whether or not there's minimum requirements for the job that you don't have, and if you know that's going to be against you to begin with.
You know, I'm not sure, because I believe when Ms. Waller took the position, she didn't have a college degree, however, she had experience, and that's my situation, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but
When Ms. Waller got it, it wasn't advertised for, and there wasn't any requirements. She was here and available.
there you go.
Brandy's here and available also.
I understand, and I'm good with that. You build so many years of loyalty, and there ought to be some kind of reward for it.
All right. Had a motion to send a message to,
To the county administrator, to the county commissioners, to human resources, that we would like to see as a commission, Brandy, for the job.
right here, a second. Have a second. Motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous?
Can you write that up and?
You had to sign that up, sign that
I think that might be a conflict of interest.
But create a letter of the chairman's signature.
This time we have the planning workshop. Planning workshop.
So for the planning workshop, I'm requesting that we postpone the next workshop. I hadn't technically scheduled it yet until a planner is hired, and if it comes to me training somebody else or getting their feet wet, I'm just requesting some time, so maybe postpone it till next month. So that's what I'm requesting. Workshop for August.
Not setting a date now, you're just canceling the August workshop.
All in favor of canceling the meeting?
Let me ask one question, let's go back. Randy, what happens right now if Joe Smith walks in with a planning application? Does he just sit there and look at you, or does it get looked at, or is it on hold until a planner is hired, or what happens?
Well, these 3 applications were in the middle of when Mr. Wood was here, and I just took it upon myself to take care of the person, and that's what I'm doing now. So I didn't ask permission to do so. I kind of felt like because these people did pay their fees, they were advertised, these needed to be taken care of. So I took it upon myself to make sure that they didn't get pushed behind again.
So if I walk in as a contractor wanting to build a swimming pool and I need planning approval,
I'm going to walk you through the steps, whether it's residential or commercial.
And we have not canceled our contract with West Florida Regional
Right.
Planning Commission, so we have a planner available.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want that to be a perception of Washington County to slow anyone coming down for any development they may have.
and I didn't know that.
No, we still have the same exact contract that we did with West Florida Regional Planning Commission. Even after the next gentleman is hired, I'm sure the board will recommend.
Brandy's not gonna get hired?
No, after the next person gets hired. Yes, we will continually have a contract with West Florida Regional, so don't rest assured that that's being taken care of.
Are you with West Florida?
I am,
Really?
yes.
I thought you was with, what's?
You don't remember, she presented with the Dollar General.
Yeah, that's right, I remember. Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
review the letter of recommendation, and you make that motion.
Oh, I thought we already.
We did that.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
Mr. Chairman, we have a new building inspector, who'd like to come up and say a few words.
Sure.
We have a new building inspector?
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Yes, I'm the building official here at Washington County, been here about a month.
What's your name?
My name is Daniel Whipple.
Whipple? Where are you from?
I've met you over at Holmes County.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Probably turned you down.
No, I didn't actually.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, did.
All right, well, nice meeting you.
Okay.
Washington County.
All right, thanks a
Now, are
lot.
you full-time?
Yes.
Okay.
But not Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
As far as inspections go?
Yeah.
We're working on that. I'm planning on doing it a daily basis right now. We'll see how it works.
I cut somebody's power loose on a Tuesday morning, I don't have to worry about it, wait until Wednesday before I reconnect them until they make repairs.
That's right. Actually, we had one today, right here in town.
All right.
Well,
Yep. Anything else?
It's nice having you.
Any other
Thank you.
news? Any other business?
Move adjournment.
Been motion for adjourn? Second? All in favor? All right, thank you. Thank you.